Alrighty. Today, yep, got a new one in. Project Humanity. This is Purtis with Project Humanity. How we doing today, everybody? Today is January the 4th. And we are doing what we promised. We're making more videos this time. This year, we're going to make more videos. We're going to get more done. We're going to give more suggestions on how we can do better. Again, noticing some problems out here in the world, and we need to address them. And that's what we're here to do, trying to address the issues with solutions rather than constant finger pointing, name calling. Even though I do have a segment for finger pointing, name calling, and I will be getting back to that soon. But for right now, we're going to hold off on the finger pointing, name calling, because we need some help, people. Ladies and gentlemen, we need some help. And, I was doing some pondering, and what came to mind was, why not just ask? Why not just ask for some help? And this is what I was thinking. The people who actually want to help, who are able to help very wealthy people, maybe you don't have solutions or options or anyone with any good ideas on how to do it. And that's why I said, you know what? That's where I come in. Instead of finger pointing, name calling, and just talking about the problem, why don't I give you some things that we can do to actually help make things better? So that's what I'm gonna do today. How about that? Purtis with Project Humanity again, and here's a few things I think that would help out going forward to try and fix the problems that we have in the world without having a bottleneck effect into destruction. Because it seems like that's where we're headed due to poor leadership. And again, our leadership is only as good as we are because we voted them in. Remember that too. We chose them, so they represent us. As much as you don't like to admit it, that's the best we got. So let's try and see if we can do a little bit better. Some of these suggestions are pretty simple. One, we have enough resources and money to provide everyone in the United States with either a cell phone or a pad, a tablet of some sort. And let's create Zoom rooms or some type of meeting rooms where we can hire. See, this is how you create jobs right here, government. We start getting our counselors, people who went to school for counseling, our addiction counseling, AA, let's get them involved. Told you I was gonna call y'all out. Get those counselors, those people who know how to talk to people and treat these mental disorders. Let's create these Zoom rooms, and let's start creating those mental health group sessions so that we can log in on our phones when we're having a bad day, and we can talk to some people that can help us find solutions to what we're going through. That's my that's part of my plan, is mental health for everyone. And here's the benefit to that. Having healthier thinking people will build for a better community going forward in the world. We have a lot more people actively participating in the construction of what we need to do going forward and the sacrifices we need to make. It'll make more sense to us if we're mentally well to make these sacrifices. Like, a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. But I think we love to hear the truth. It just has to come from the right person. And so I would just tell you the truth, and then maybe the right person will explain it to you if you don't like the way I say it. The world has, and I'm gonna speak from America's standpoint, we're getting kind of fat, and myself included. We need to really stop consuming so much out of pleasure. My mom used to say something: we eat to live, we don't live to eat. And that's where we have to get back to. We eat to live, not live to eat. That way we'll be able to feed more people around the world. We have to start thinking about the other people and not just ourselves. We can enjoy a great steak dinner and a nice shrimp cocktail and all these wonderful meals in moderation if we're willing to share with other people. Um, you just have to really think about how much food we're throwing away in order to understand how much we waste because we make bad decisions, or we're making some decisions that are not beneficial to the future. Let me say that. We're making decisions that are not beneficial to the future. Here's an example. Our beef is never frozen, always fresh. Okay, that sounds real good and delicious to us. However, in order to make that possible, we're damaging the nature around us in order to make that possible for us to have the fresh, never frozen beef. Whereas if we utilize the country better in a more strategic way, then the beef that some locations received would have to be frozen in order to be shipped there. Still fresh, still delicious. You just don't have the claim of fresh, never frozen. And I can guarantee you, your hamburgers are not that good. They're not. I've had frozen meat from a freezer section that tastes better than your fresh, never frozen beef. So whatever you're selling us, it's not tasting like it, and it's creating more of a destruction cascading effect than it is a progression effect. So that's some of the things we have to start addressing and changing in ourselves to make the changes that we need to make easier. And that starts with how we think about things. And that's why the part in the mental health treatment or making that available to everyone, especially right now in a pandemic. We have a lot of stress that's caused by so much division in government that's now starting to really show itself. They've had the luxury of the divided country and been able to keep control. And now we have a serious situation, and that same division is the problem. We can't get on one accord, and people's livelihoods are at stake. So that's something else that the government has to say, we're responsible for that. We did that. So when I look at our wealthy persons who have a lot of resources, who have a lot of money, this is that time when you say, you know what, if enough of us get together who know we can afford to help make these changes, then we can make these changes happen. I'm not on the side of all these other people talking about rich people are evil. I've met some people with more money than I have, and they seem to be a lot nicer than the people who I've met who have no money. So I'm not on the same page with rich people are evil, bad people are good. I mean, poor people are good. No, it's good people in every walk of life, and I'm just looking for the good ones, not looking for the bad ones. So if you're bad, whether you're rich or poor, this is the time when you probably can turn it off, or you can keep listening and learning. But we have to start moving in a more positive direction, because we are creating some real consequences for ourselves. And those consequences are going to be passed on to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So let's take, say, 10 years and put the brakes on Mars. Just 10. That's not too long. I really think we can get a lot done with the amount of information that's available to share across the world in 10 years. We just have to start living a little less selfishly. So, relinquishing that power. Aren't you stressed out anyway? Trying to solve the problems of the world with old ways. It's time for some new ideas. And those new ideas are not going to come from the same people. So you're trying to basically say, if we keep electing the same people over and over again, they're eventually going to fix the problem. Well, one of the more what we would consider smarter people that lived in the past 200 years, he said that if you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, that means you're insane. I tend to think that's pretty true. So if we keep electing Republicans, Democrats, Republicans, and Democrats, Republicans, and Democrats, and we expect them to do something different, then we, the people who keep voting for them, are insane. And we're basically teaching our children to follow that insanity, and they'll teach it to their children. And so what you'll have in the end is a constant building of new facilities further from the cities, constantly cutting more trees down. And as you age, you'll start to see the temperatures increase. You'll start to see more dead fish, more whales beached, and you'll get to an age and say, wow, we should have done something different. But this generation behind you are the ones who will suffer through it the longest. So we have to start thinking now, we have to change. We have the technology to go to Mars. The fact that we're even discussing that, and we have a island of trash floating around the planet, is ridiculous. We have to stop now and start funneling our resources towards rebuilding the things we've destroyed. That's basically what we need to do. We need to stop and say, hey, I know the laws have been in place to help us get richer. The wealth of the wealthy is just growing out of control. You got so much money, you don't even know what to do with it. Well, here's something you can do with it. Tell the government, look, we got to change some things. We know how you got the rules set up, but look, that's broken. It's better to have an empowered people and watch us move forward together. And here's something you already know. They say that the poor people, they having babies, doing drugs, and all this blah, blah, blah. And that's how they're going to do if they get money. Well, something you already know. The more money a person has, the less likely they are to do drugs and have a gang of kids and drink all the time. You already know that to be true. So if you empower a people and they start to educate themselves and they start to sober up, they're gonna have less kids. They're gonna be more strategic with their planning. They're gonna be better people for this future we need to build, in which we start to build spacecraft and go to Mars. Those are the people you need in order to get to that future. See, right now, if we try and go, let's go to Mars, then you have this imbalance of wealth. Well, we're going to Mars, but we're still sleeping under bridges. Who's sleeping under bridges? The military, the ex-military vets, the elderly who couldn't do customer service phone calls, who lost all their money through hackers. That's who's sleeping on the bridge, and that's who's in homeless shelters. But hey, we got people going to Mars too, though. That's just wrong. And it makes no sense. So let's put the brakes on. Let's take a couple steps back and let's force the change that needs to take place, because the policies in place are not benefiting anyone long run. So this is Curtis with Project Humanity, and we're going to take a small break and come right back, because today we took the day off and we're just going to kind of shoot a lot of videos, and this is probably going to be where I put one of the breaks in so I can change subjects. So we'll be back with you later. It's again Curtis with Project Humanity, offering solutions, not talking about the problems. Peace out. You know what? I think I did all I wanted to do on that video right there. I think I might be done for the day.